now we can talk about Babylon, because we just had a time lapse, and we just fast forward to Babylon. Okay, so just read that first verse.
Genesis 49 and verse 1.
Yeah.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said,
So Jacob's a prophet.
gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that what shall befall you
What?
in the last days.
In the last days. This is why when you look at the 12 tribes chart, the nations on the 12 tribes are based on the Western Hemisphere, because Gad knew they were Gad when they came over here, but through Esau, Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah 17:4, he just discontinued our heritage. Oh, and then in Jeremiah 50, ye destroyer of my heritage. He took the Gad. Oh, do you know that Andrew Jackson made a fort called Fort Gadsden?
Yep.
Fort Gadsden. All right, so they know who we were. Fort Negro, okay, Hebrews. Let's read that real quick.
St. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
Yeah.
And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Now we're cooking, you know. Now the ball's rolling. You see? Read that again.
St. Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even thyself
Yep.
shall discontinue from thine heritage.
You will discontinue. Did you discontinue when you escaped Assyrian captivity? No. Did you discontinue Judah when you're the Babylonians? No. But you discontinued your heritage as the Greeks during the empire of the Greeks. I'm speaking about the southern kingdom. This is why Paul said Jew nor Greek, okay? And then our heritage got discontinued when Esau came over in 1492, when he was loose for a little season in Revelations 20. So he was loose for a little season, okay? And what did he do? He came over and murdered and raped and killed and pillaged and robbed, cut off members and noses and hands. This is why the fictional character Wolverine was stolen from an Asherite by the name of Galvarino, okay? Which the actual Jake hands were cut off, and he healed and tied swords to him and went back and was jacking up the Spaniards, man. The conquistadors, Cortez and all that, man. You see? So you finish that? Okay.
And it says, thine heritage that I gave thee.
What's our heritage, brothers? Being an Israelite.
Covenant.
The covenant. Covenants. This is why now we remember ourselves in captivity, because we forgot ourselves because of captivity. This guy took our nationality from us. He beat it out of us. He subjugated unrighteous decrees that made it illegal for us to serve Yahweh Shameful Shy. And then you stand here with your proud, smug looks and try to tell us salvation for everyone. You don't know history. You don't know prophecy. It ain't hard, bro. We don't gotta, give me Acts 5. We don't need to go and say Israel. Are you under the covenant? Are you from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Then you can't talk. There's nothing to talk about. You can't come and play Monopoly with Uno rules. You know? Pieces of shit. You people are terrible, man. You don't care about the children of God. Do you know that we are the children of God? And you've murdered and raped and beat and tortured us continually. Then you scoff and mock and laugh as if it's a joke. But you're the one that's a laughing stock. You're not in reality.
Laugh now, cry later.
Right, because you're in a strong delusion. But your reality of lies is being broken down right before you.
The house of cards is falling, man.
Right, man. Let's keep going.
And it says,
fucking people, man. But then you want to fucking cry when something happens to your child or your wife or your children. You know? Like the Lord ain't out here judging people, man. Are you kidding me? That's the problem with this place. You give Esau too much power.
And it says that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
Right. This is why when he came over as the conquistadors, all right, he was wrecking shop. Okay? This is why he was putting us in slavery, putting us in mines. Okay? Keep going. And
it says, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
Yeah, because now we're jumping to Jeremiah. Because they came over to this land to live by the laws, but they weren't ultimately. Look at the movie Apocalypto. All right. Jake also took heathen customs with them, sacrificing, idol worship, right? They took all that with them. So the Lord, that wickedness brought what? Esau over, because Esau is the sword.
Yeah, that was the Lord's anger.
Yep.
You know what they were doing to our women, cutting the stomachs open, stomping the babies, dashing them. That was the Lord's anger. You know, because before they got over here, our people were at war with one another.
Yep.
Just like during the Dark Ages, you had the Scots versus the English. They
Yep.
were always at war with one another. You know?
Yeah, they show you that Braveheart. He said, if we can't drown them out, we'll breed them out. you trying to breed out another Jake, but you Jake. What the fuck? Jake, crazy.
That's the last one you going with.
Right. You just making more.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Yep.
Thus said Yahweh by Shem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah will oppress together.
Right there, let's stop. Because right there, we're breaking it down. So the children of Israel being the northern, we broke it down in the spirit. They came over where? To Babylon. And then who followed? The Spanish. You see? Which you had 1492, right? You had 1492. Then you had 1524, the Spanish entered North America. And then in 1587, the British landed on the Florida Isles. And who was there? Reuben. So what were they doing? Going to war. Oh, and then 1607, the Europeans furthered their expansion in what you know as America. Fighting with who? Gad. Then in 1619, under the Portuguese slaveholders, they brought over who? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. So Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Ephraim, Manasseh, Naphtali, all right, they were already going to war with Esau long before Judah got over here.
Well, they were damn near wiped out, you know, from millions of people to thousands. You know, through what? Through the disease, smallpox, which they're bringing that back, you know?
Well, Esau said, or Gad said that Esau gave it to him. They said or it was the rats that came on the boats. See, what you people don't understand is when Esau came over here, he wasn't all this clean cut, shaven. He was a grotesque being.
He was a fucking homoerotic cannibal.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Very disgusting, detestable. Okay, the things he did. And then he'd write in his nasty little journal the shit he made our women do. You know?
Yeah, they said Christopher Columbus, if that's his real name, this nigga slept with a manatee.
What the fuck?
A sea animal, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they got syphilis.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
This is what they would do.
And then he said he couldn't let his sword down for an hour because they had a spirit on him, a spirit of that rage on Jake, man. So Esau's been at war with us since he crept back out the caves. He hasn't stopped being at war with us. Let's go back, what we say, 1492. That was the Spanish. 1587, then the Brits. Oh shit. We might have to get Daniel 7. That's the three horns. The Spanish, the British, right? And the French. Which the Americans had to defeat those three to get this land while he still was having your ass in a Debo headlock. While he was proclaiming freedom while your ass was enslaved. How can you express Independence Day when you had slaves that weren't independent for freedom? Let's read that again, dog. Hey, some of these dates are very important, man. So I want to say it again. 1492, Columbus, right? 1587, the Brits. 1607, furthering the Brits, and then 1619 was when the Southern came. You see? Oppressed together. We were oppressed together, so you can't talk about the transatlantic slave trade without mentioning your northern counterpart. He was over here fighting with him, and he had to fight off Gad and Reuben just to bring you over here. Oh, you know? And then when they got to this land, guess who was giving Gad liquor? The Swedes, the Dutch, okay? They used liquor as a tool to get one up over on them. Now we're starting to transition into Habakkuk, you know? You people don't know the grotesque history of your country for you to drive up and down these streets in your so-called freedom, man. It took millions of Israelites' death, murder, for you to walk around and twerk and dance and sing and fuck-ass rap. Now the ancestors of these people. Flat tire, man.
Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus said Yahweh by Shem Yahushua of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
Right. So through history, you can prove that. Through history, you can prove that they were oppressed together. And in 1682, Gad was referred to as a Negro. Do you know that? Gad was referred to as a Negro because in 1681, Esau identified himself as white. See? So even his what he identifies now is oh so old, you know? Keep going.
When you watch that movie, The Revenant, he calls them tree niggas. You know?
See?
It says, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
Right, slavery. They refused to let them go. So they came and stole this land, murdered, raped, and caused deceit to establish it. Then the people they enslaved, they refused to let them go. And then we're all supposed to sit around and walk and act like everything's okay. And then when you talk about these crimes and atrocities and issues, it's blown off. It's pushed to the side.
They tell you
forget about it. You see? Everlasting, man. Everlasting. Man, it's the shame in history that you've created and the relationship with us and you is disgusting, man. All right? War crimes, okay? The war crimes that you've committed on the children of God. We were oppressed together. So history proves Judah and Israel. But you got it, bro. I'm just changing batteries.
This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 12. It says, "Woe to him that builded a town with blood."
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. He was establishing a town with blood because the reason I mentioned Daniel, because if you go to that, matter of fact, can you go to it and go to the little horn, which we know that's talking about America? It jumps from Rome. He's
verse 8.
Yeah, where it goes about Rome, but then it goes into the little horn, and he had 3 in his mouth. Because you have to understand, when the Spanish came over here within 1492, they ruled what you know as Mexico, but Issachar got that back. But remember, the Spanish went to war with the Americans. You see, so the Spanish got kicked out of the Americas too, to establish the land of Issachar today, which Issachar's land, Mexico, that was all the way up where Cali is. That's why they call California northern Mexico. Okay, you found it, brother? Daniel's like 7 and 8. Yep.
This is Daniel 7 and verse 8.
Which, real quick for the brothers and sisters, when you read Daniel 7, it's a timeline of history, you know, which the spirit we like to go into. It's just the spirit, it's not us. The spirit has us go into this history a lot, reoccurring. But when you read Daniel from 7:1 and down, it breaks down the notable kingdoms: Assyrian, Babylonian, Medo-Persian, Greek, Roman, and ultimately America. But it also references the Spanish, the French, and the British. Let's read that real quick.
Time jumps.
What a time jump. It's a prophetic timeline, you know?
This is Daniel 7 and 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns.
Yeah, the little horn came up from whom there were 3 horns. See, because going into history, this is why we were talking about it. 1492, the Spanish, 1587, the Brits, and then you also had the French. That's why you had the French-Indian War, okay? Because the French went to war with the British went to war with the Americans went to war with the Spanish. See, so they all were fighting as Judah and Israel were just getting tossed to and fro, man. So let's read one more time.
Before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Yeah, the 3 rulerships, because horn represents power, ruler, right? So these 3 horns were plucked, okay? This is why you had the Louisiana Purchase, which they purchased that from the French. This is why you have Canada today. This is why they're called French Canadian. All right.
That's why you got Levi in Louisiana and in Canada.
And a lot of New Orleans are Reuben, because Reuben migrated from Mississippi down in the Florida area, and through Andrew Jackson, they got pushed into Arkansas. So you got a lot of Jakes out there playing for the Razorbacks. Was it the Arkansas Razorbacks, the football team? You know? Hey, bro, you gotta know your history. What did Pop say? You gotta, to know the mystery, you gotta know the history. History, secular history alone proves what we're saying with the scriptures. So one more time, brother.
It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, and this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Yeah, Esau's democracy, because even Gad mentioned when it came to the Yankees and the English, they were very big on their rights and liberty and freedom. But let me say this, Daniel 7, you also got to read Revelation 17, because it says out of the horn, a little horn, that's speaking about Britain. Because you got to understand that through Britain came the Americans, okay? America came out of Britain, all right? Because it was the Europeans through what? England, okay? These are all these Edomites that sprang up through the Renaissance and was establishing rulership, all right, in the lands that we took over, attempting a righteous rule. So once time fulfilled itself, they started migrating where? Over here to the Americas. Oh, now Jeremiah 49 and 19. Because now what are we doing? We're explaining the prophetic events that took place. Who were the troops that overcame Gad, that his father Jacob prophesied to him that will befall him in the last days? We just had fucking Thanksgiving, man. Excuse me. That's our people, bro. Fuck. That's us, man.
Black Friday.
And yeah, and to boot. And Black Friday to boot. You know, you had Israel Thursday and then Judah Friday. You know?
That's Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Is it not, brother? You got that, bro?
Yep. Genesis 49 and verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
See, a troop, because Gad was in the northern America. He was warned with himself, the Chickasaw, the Lakota, the Sioux Nation, right? They're all fighting with each other, having eternal issues. The evil eye, Cherokee, exactly, right? The Blackfoot, you know, Seminole. Hey, don't forget Reuben. Seminole was rocking shit. Seminole's one of the known native tribes that never bowed down. Seminole went so effing hard that during Andrew Jackson and Trail of Tears, there was like 1,000 of them that still wouldn't leave, still wouldn't settle land, and they were so stubborn that the American government had to write a bill to say, just call it truce, because they couldn't get all of us out the land. You can't tell me that ain't the nation of Israel, man. You can't tell me that. Shit, even the Brits said they're wild ones. They were jacking them up. Shit, Reuben was staging guerrilla tactics on them, man. You know, Gad said that one of our mighty men could take out a fleet of the white man's army. You know why? Because under the white man's army, Esau, he will put any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the line and push you forward. But like our law, Gad would only use brave warriors to go to war. And that's why they were overcoming them. And that's why Esau had to come with his blessing. And you want to know how Gad got the gun? Because the fucking Swedes gave it to him, just so he can get some land. At one point, the Edomite Swedes owned Delaware. Through what? The harbors. See? It was all the East Coast. When Esau was coming here, it was all the harbors. Why do you think when the Brits came, they came through the rivers of Florida? Because they're coming off the bank. They're coming from Europe, and they're heading where? West. They're heading west. So what's the first thing when you get west? The East Coast. That's why the 13 colonies were trickled in the East Coast. The mere fact that the 13 colonies are based off the East Coast proves the 12 tribes chart is based off the Western Hemisphere. Damn it.
Another thing this damn devil did was he'll use the divide and conquer tactics, which he's always have done.
Yep.
And he would take the Judah, you know, Benjamin and Levi, who were in hardcore chattel slavery, and say, hey, I'll give you your freedom if you help us kill these natives.
Buffalo soldiers.
Yep. And they called them that Buffalo soldiers, man. You see?
And then you had Bob Marley, Buffalo Soldiers, fighting in a battle. Like, that's a good song. Brothers, listen to it, man. You know, you want to sit back and chill. Lil Yayan, you know? It's a good song, man. And speaking, since the Spirit's got us on history today, do you know the first cowboys were Jakes? You know? Look at Gad on a horse. You know? Look at Judah on a horse. Well, let's read this again.
Excuse me. Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Yeah, see? So the Gad, a troop shall overcome him. So they were being overcame by Esau and his army. And look, Judah became an American citizen in 1865. Gad didn't become an American citizen until 1924 under the Snyder Act. So he went to war starting in 1492. He didn't say that he didn't end war with you until the 1890s, until the 19th century. America's been going to war with the inhabitants of this land since the 19th century. And then you inhabitants celebrate and reverence the death of our people. You're thankful to be an inhabitant on stolen land. That's why you people are guilty by association, man. You are now a co-defendant in this court case of murder and war crimes. You know? When you look at the history, don't you know the government was paying the 49ers to scalp Gad's head? You know that? Scalping him, man. You know the Greeks were scalping us too? Yo, bro, he's been at war with us since the jump. Since 1492, he hasn't stopped war.
Since the serpent. Talking to Adam's woman.
Yep. So, read that again. Yeah, it's all good. Let's just read it again. Again, troops shall overcome him.
Back in Genesis 49 and 19, and it says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
Yeah, hey, real quick, let's do a fun fact. Look up, you got your phone on you, brother? Can you look up mass murder Abraham Lincoln? Do you know that the President Abraham Lincoln holds the record for the biggest mass murder in American history to the Native Americans? He hung them, man. So when you talk about, he freed the slaves. Well, he hung the Native Americans, which they weren't even calling themselves Native American, you know? Because I myself was raised in a Native American household, which the people that we come from were called the Haudenosaunee, which mean people of the hills, right? And then, over 21 states in America are named after Gad. Yep. 21 states in America are named after Gad. You having to find it? Yeah, yep, you could read that, brother.
It says 300 Santee Sioux sentenced to hang in Minnesota. More than 300 Sioux are found guilty of raping and murdering Anglo settlers and are sentenced to hang.
They're not even Anglo-Saxons, man. You see? But that was by Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln did that, man. You see? So that's that troop overcoming us, okay? That was that troop. All the wars, the battle of Wounded Knee, you know? Hey, and Gad was rocking it too. Don't think for a second Gad and Reuben, our people stayed fighting back, but prophecy is why Esau prevailed, okay? The sword is why Esau prevailed. It wasn't Esau, all right? Because Esau was out here with fucking, he had all type of diseases, eating fucking hardtack bread. Nigga had to make rice with syrup and shit, you know? Nigga had to have, what the hell was he eating? He was eating all types of mush mouth shit,
pork
man.
belly, sour
belly. Pork belly soup, you know?
A month later, President Abraham Lincoln commuted all but 39 of the death sentences. One of the Native Americans was granted a last-minute reprieve, but the other 38 were hanged simultaneously on December 26th in a mass execution.
Oh, wow, so a day after Christmas, right? This is why Gad said, how can the white man preach Christianity when he pushes hell and ungodliness? Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it. You read it again, brother?
It says, one of the Native Americans was granted a last-minute reprieve, but the other 38 were hanged simultaneously on December 26th in a mass execution witnessed by a large crowd of Minnesotans.
Yep. Now, real quick, now this is a spirit of someone that got me this book, right? They just got it, so I started looking through it. Like, I looked through it. It's like I said, I identify as Gad. And this book is called The Wisdom of the Native Americans, okay? And I just skimmed through it. And right here it says, It says, this is a quote by a Mohawk by the name of Joseph Brant, or he's from the Thanyandanica tribe. And it says, our wise men are called fathers, and they truly sustain that character. Do you call yourselves Christians? Does then the religion of him who you call your Savior inspire your spirit and guide your practices? Surely not. So Gad was already on this nigga like, you're over here talking about Christianity, but look what you're doing, right? And it says, it is recorded of him that a bruised reed he never broke. Cease then to call yourselves Christians, lest you declare to the world your hypocrisy. Cease to call other nations savages when you are tenfold more the children of cruelty than they. Do you hear that? This is out of the words of Gadites, man. He said, you can't call other nations savages. You are tenfold in that. These are statements that Gad is making about this guy, man. You know? What you got?
Genesis.
Oh, no, we finished the troop?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yep, keep going.
And it says, but he shall overcome at the last. You know, and that's happening right now, you know, spiritually. You know, because Yahweh Shameful Shy has raised up that exceeding great army, you know, and right here, bro, Gad, the hopeful lake of the great tribe of Gad, you know.
Yeah. And can you jump up to Habakkuk 2 and 6 more than heart could wish?
When you go into that word last in Genesis 49, the word there goes into hill. You know, and spiritually we're on Esau's hill. You know, just like it's written Second Ezra 6, it tells you that you know, Jacob's hand took hold on Esau's hill. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2 and verse 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine,
yep,
he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home.
Neither keepeth at home, which is prophecy, right? Neither keepeth at home. Keep going.
Who enlargeth his desire as hell,
yep,
and is as death,
yep,
and cannot be satisfied.
He cannot be satisfied. Keep going.
But gathereth unto him all nations,
yep,
and heapeth unto him all people.
Yep.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say?
A taunting proverb. Let me read a taunting proverb against him. This is, it's called the betrayal of land. Now, this statement is made by a Creek chief named Doublehead, and it says, watch this, brothers. We are afraid if we part with any more of our land, the white people will not let us keep as much as will be sufficient to bury our dead.
Damn.
Do you hear that? So the Native Americans that did deals with you, they said, if we do any more deals, we won't even have land to bury our dead. This is how this fucking man operates, man. You know? And I got another one for you. Watch this one. This is by Chief Seattle. He says,
Seattle.
Right. It says, we know that the white man does not understand our ways. One portion of the land is the same to him as the next. Remove not an ancient landmark, right? He's broken the everlasting covenant, Isaiah, you know. And it says, not that we get it, but, you know, these precepts should be coming to mind, you know, when we're reading this. It says, one portion of the land is the same to him as the next, for he is a stranger who comes in the night and takes from the land whatever he needs. The earth is not his brother, but his enemy. And when he has conquered it, he moves on. Do you hear that, man? This is a taunting proverb, bro. So Brakati al-Bashir al-Shai was a spirit. Out of nowhere, I just received this book, you know? And I was like, well, let me look through it. And it's time and time again quotes of Gad rebuking you, man. Rebuking your fucking wicked ass, man. And guess what? There's more. There's more, but we got the scriptures, you know? But there's more to be said of what this damn demon has done and how he's moved. And I keep hearing Sirach 10 from injuries and unrighteous decrees, man. We got it. Yeah, Khan. Yeah.
Back in Habakkuk 2 and verse 6, and it says, shall not all these, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him?
Is this not a taunting proverb? Damn, we go all. Well, remember he said, did you trade for it? Right. Did you buy it? It's not like that. Then what is it like, you fucking two-faced bastard? You know? Oh, and that's another thing Gad said. Matter of fact, let me get that. He said, the white man, he pretty much, he's not a man of his word. He's dishonorable. And that's how a lot of Edomites got America, bro. Was through a lot of treachery and deceit. He wasn't just up in there slaying, he was killing, but a lot of times he did it through unrighteous decrees. And I'll have to get that for y'all. But you got it, bro.
And it says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
Yeah, this land. He increased this land which was not his. Now it was prophecy, but this land is not his. He got it through wickedness. You know? Keep going.
And it says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay.
Yep, the debt.
And that's that debt.
You got it, go.
And that's one thing too. Babylon's in great debt. You know, here it is. You know, he's constantly upon countries on on sanctions. You know, and tariffs and shit like that. But he's in great debt, man. You know,
and trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
And then you got Biden, who's trying to come back with his Build Back Better. You know, basically as a bomb. You know, but it's only going to put the country in further debt. It's only going to put more hell upon the people and cause inflation, which will then lead to hyperinflation.
Yeah. Well, I got a quick one. I just got this one. So remember, I said a troop shall overcome, but he shall overcome at the last. This is a quote by an Indian guide to Tom Wilson. It says, this was in 1882. White man's pictures all fade, but the Indian's memories last forever. See? So at the end of the day, his shameful spewing is going to fade away, but the nation of Israel will overcome, and at that forever, man. You know? I'm looking for it right now, but you can keep reading. The brother's got one too.
You got it, bro.
This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, let me, we're going to read that a few times. Look at this. So this is chapter 11, the ways of the white man. These are quotes by the inhabitants that lived here before you. This is a taunting proverb, man. You know, it says, many of the Edomites, it says white man's, many of the Edomites' ways are past our understanding. They put a great store upon writing. There is always paper. See? There's always paper. When he came over in 1607 to Jamestown, Virginia, he said, I declare this Jamestown under the order of the charter of Britain. So it's like, what the fuck? What does the price tea in China got to do with me? So he came over to this land where they don't speak English, they don't know you, and you came with a piece of paper talking about this is mine now. What? What are you talking about? But this is what Gad's saying. It says, the white people must think that paper has some mysterious power to help them in the world. There it is, unrighteous decrees. His unrighteous decrees.
Well, it goes back to the birthright, you know, because what did Jacob do to Esau? You got him to write that shit down, you know.
And it says words